Welcome back to another Talking Tuesday. We're going to talk about adversity. Adversity is our friend. Welcome back to another Talking Tuesday, and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk about adversity. I've been reading a book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***. Now, I haven't finished it yet, but it's raising some interesting points. Now, the funny thing about books like this is I don't know if they're interesting points because I already agree with them or because they're teaching me something. But he's talking about adversity and how we will always have troubles. The idea being that you work through your troubles just to get to better troubles, but you're never not going to have troubles. And quite honestly, we're not wired that way. You know, how many TV shows have you seen where people have been stuck into this utopia and they know something's wrong because it's just too easy? They grow restless. You know, we're problem solvers. So without problems to solve, we become unbalanced. When kids grow up in a sheltered life, they don't learn how to deal with the fact that sometimes life's going to suck. You move on and you get over it. You do the best you can to make it right, but you don't always win. And just like working out at the gym, it's those hard times, those losses that play into who we are as much as the wins, maybe more so. You know, hardship and adversity is a tool. It's uncomfortable and we all kind of hate it. But it pushes us to get better. It pushes us to change the world in a favorable direction. I heard somebody say once that guilt is a good thing in that it motivates us to make changes, to set things right. And that struck me as particularly true. Uncomfortable, but true. Now, guilt, if you hold on to it too long, turns into shame, and shame is never productive. But guilt in itself pushes us to make things right. And guilt is just another adversity. You know, if I don't have enough money, it pushes me to make more money. If I'm unhappy enough with my appearance, it pushes me to do something about it. Now, people will handle that in different ways. For some, it'll work. Some will ignore the fact and try and cover up the fact that adversity and bad feelings are there. You find this a lot in people who are womanizing and that kind of thing. They look for relationships to cover up the fact that they've got other issues in their life, that they're insecure or whatever the case may be. On the other extreme, there's a victim mentality. Well, that's just the way it is, and there's nothing I can do about it, and the world is against me, and that's just the way it is. And what that does is absolve us of doing anything about it, of making any meaningful changes. One of the things he mentioned in this book that really stood out to me, he was talking about the internet, and he was saying how in this age where we have complete freedom of expression, somehow it has spawned this situation where we're growing more and more intolerant of people who disagree with us. You know, we've spawned this culture of people who don't want to be offended because really they can't handle it. It's too much for them. They need safe zones. They need the world to be the way they need it to be. And I wonder if it's because they haven't learned that, you know, people are going to disagree with you. Sometimes life is going to suck. You know, it is painful at times. It is hard at times. It is terrible at times. But that's a cue to overcome as much as we're able to overcome. You know, we're pretty incredible beings and we're capable of so much. We're capable of so much achievement, so much cruelty. And somewhere in the middle, we're capable of overcoming and getting through incredible adversity. You know, I'm old enough and have seen a culture before the one that we're in now where we had to just deal with it. I always think about coal miners in the hills of West Virginia and some of the other places, and you see these pictures of them coming out just black and miserable from a day of work, hard, back-breaking work. And it really makes you grateful for what you have. You don't have to do that. they have such a legacy, and I have such great respect for them because they dealt with that adversity and they got through it, and they raised their families and they did what they had to do. We got this car kind of weaving across the lines. Texting, I'll bet you? Nope. Just driving 10 miles under the speed limit, weaving back and forth. I think she's on the phone. There's some adversity. You know, somebody once said that if we don't have problems, we'll invent our own. Actually, if you look around, that might be pretty obvious. It's uncomfortable, and I kind of hate it, but I'm trying to learn that it's a teacher. You know, I used to think about it in a larger sense when all these companies would get bailouts and stuff. And I'm thinking, if you mismanage your company so poorly that you don't have money, and then you're given a huge bailout of cash, how does that teach you to manage your company better? You know, it's that slow everyday grind that teaches us what we need to do. It makes us better at what we do. It makes us able to stand. It's a foundation. So tell me, what do you think? Adversity, friend or foe? Is it something we want to get rid of? Or is it like going to the gym, which actually we might want to get rid of too? Anyways, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time.